I hope everyone's had a great week. The tragic story of the golden calf leads God to label the Jewish people as an Am Kshe Oref. Vayomer Hashem Moshe, God said to Moshe, Ra'iti et ha'am hazeh, I have seen these people, this nation. V'hinei Am Kshe Orefu, it is a nation of, it is a stiff-necked nation. They're stiff-necked people. V'ata hanicha li vayichar api vahem va'achalem. He says to Moshe, God says in his anger, just let me be. Stop beseeching me. I am angry with them. I want to destroy them. Just let me do it, and I'll make you into a great nation. And 2 chapters later in the Torah, when Moshe is trying to convince God to now not just let the people be, let them exist, but come in our midst. Don't just hang out on the sidelines. Be amongst the people. That's what they really want. And he beseeches God, Vayomer imna matzati chen beinecha Hashem, yelechna Hashem bikirbeinu. Moshe says, if I have found favor in your eyes, my God, yelechna, we ask you to walk amongst us. Why? Ki am kashe orefhu. Because we are a stiff-necked people. And forgive us for our sins, our iniquities, and they are sins, pardon us for our iniquities and our sins, and to take us for your own. Notice that Moshe used the very same characteristic, Am Kshe Oref, a stiff-necked people. He uses that as a defense. Forgive us. Walk amongst us. Ki Am Kshe Orefu. Because we're a stiff-necked people. But how could Moshe use that as an argument? Wasn't that the reason that God was so angry with the Jewish people? Because they were stiff-necked? They were stubborn in their ways. They felt they had to have a God. They had to have a something. And so they built a golden calf. Stubborn people. Hey, they can't deal with if it's a little bit off course. So what do we make of this? How does Moshe's defense of that he brings up the very characteristic that God dislikes about the Jewish people as a defense? So the Medrash in Shemot Rabbah asks this question. Mahu v'hine am kshe orafu. What does this mean when Moshe says that they are a stiff-necked people? So Amar Rav Yakim, Shlosha chatzufim hem. Rav Yakim uses an image here, a metaphor, to try to explain his point. He says that there are 3 who are undaunted, who are unmoved by the situations. Who are these undaunted ones in their groups? So Bachaya, amongst beasts, it's a kelev. The dog is undaunted by whatever comes at the dog. Amongst the wild beasts, the wild animals, the dog is laser focused, undaunted by whatever is in front of it. Ba'of, when it comes to fowl, Tarnagol, the tarnagol, the rooster, is the unwavering, undaunting in that category of animal. And lastly, uva umos, when it comes to nations of the world, who is the undaunted? Israel. It is the Jewish people. They are. They're tough to change them, to move them, to really get to them. The Midrash furthers the point. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak bar Radifa b'shem Rabbi Ami. Atas savur shehu leganai. you would read this and you would think that this characteristic of a stiff-necked people is something that is negative. It's disparaging. Ve'eno ela l'shvachim. But really, it is actually speaking praise of the Jewish people. O Yehudi, excuse me. And then it continues. Amar, the Midrash concludes here. Amar Rabbi Avin, Ad achshav koren et Yisrael b'chutz ha'aretz ha'uma shel kshei oref. He says this. Rabbi Avin says that until his time, outside the land of Israel, the other nations of the world look at the Jewish people and they call them kshei oref. They are stiff-necked. Meaning, they stick to their ways, no matter what the challenge is that's in front of the Jewish people. The Jewish people, they don't waver from tradition. They don't waver from the Torah. They don't waver from God. They don't waver from their community. And this is the story of our people throughout history, that we have continued to not just survive, but thrive, no matter what the circumstances. And this is because we are stiff-necked. Moshe was trying to explain to God, yes, it's true that this very characteristic can get us in trouble. And when we're in trouble, we can be stubborn about our ways and it leads us astray. But it's also the characteristic of a person and of a people that will stick to the tradition no matter what the challenge is. They're going to rise to the challenge. They're going to rise up. And they are going to stay true to their faith. This is an important message for all of us, not just now in this, what has been a challenging year, and staying true to our traditions and to everything that we stand for as Jews, and that it's not the Pesach we imagined last year, but we celebrated it, and we're going to do it. We're still going to do all the traditions. And you know what? We're going to figure out how to make Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur work in a crazy way. It's not just during this year of the pandemic. But this is the characteristic that we must have as a community and as individuals, as families, as a Jewish people as a whole, is that we don't waver from our traditions. They keep us grounded. Those traditions, those ways of the Torah, they are what make us succeed no matter what the challenge. And I hope that we all understand, certainly through this year, how important those traditions, those rituals, the Torah, the study of it, the morals and the values that come from it, how important all of that is to our collective success and health as a community. May we all continue to value and to invest in the Torah, in God, and in all of the ways that God has taught us and expects from us in His Torah. Have a Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Be well.